New Tigolo, new Tigolo, new Tigolo. The name is Dale. I'm doing a review of Phonte's, better known as Tigolo, Phonte's new album. No news is good news. I like that title for an album. I can relate to that title. A regular normal day where nothing happens is a good day for me. And Phonte started off with this group called Little Brother. Little Brother consists of him, rapper Big Pooh, Knife Wonder. Knife Wonder is the producer / DJ. And I believe they dropped their first album in 2002. And they did like 5 albums total. Their second to last album, Get Back, is a classic to me. I love that album. It's one of my favorite albums of this new millennium. And they broke up. But during that time when he was with Little Brother, well, let me just take a step back and go back to Little Brother. Little Brother to me was one of the most underrated groups of the 2000s. They should have been much bigger than what they were. They had some of the most entertaining, fun, and also funny songs that I've heard. They should have got played on the radio. Should have got radio play. They had some songs that your average music listener could get into. You didn't have to be an underground hip hop head to dig Little Brother. And I felt they got shorted as a group. I really do. I recall listening to the radio years ago. Don't know why I was listening to the radio. Somebody else must was driving, because when I'm driving I don't listen to the radio. But for whatever reason I was listening to the radio. And I'm from the DC area, the Washington DC area, DMV. And this radio personality from DC, Russ Parr, I believe it was Russ Parr at the time, he was asking callers to call in and say what they thought was the best album of the year or best rap album. I think it was best album. Well, anyway, and a few people called in and said Little Brother. He was like, who is Little Brother? What is Little Brother? He's kind of like clowning the name, and he never heard of him. And even before that incident, before hearing that on the radio, I knew they was on to something. But that just confirmed what I always thought, that these guys had something special. So I was kind of disappointed when they broke up. But during that middle period of time when they was together and making albums, they had did it felt like a compilation album. It was called Foreign Exchange, where Phonte and people from his crew, the crew he was with, they would rap on the album, and they linked up with this producer named Nicolay. He was from overseas, somewhere in Europe. I think the UK, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know he's from Europe. And they linked up and he did this album called Foreign Exchange. And it had singing on there. It was like neo soul meets hip hop. So it was like a blend of both forms of music. And it was a pretty good album. And that album evolved into Foreign Exchange being a group, an R&B group. So when Little Brother broke up, Phonte just went full Foreign Exchange. He was a singer now. And Phonte can really sing. He's not one of these rappers who try to sing and they gotta put special effects on their voice and put a lot of auto-tune on their voice to try to sound halfway decent. He can actually sing. He's in the same vein as CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green can really sing and he can really rap. And that's how Phonte is. He can rap and he can sing. So he went full R&B with the Foreign Exchange. They dropped about 5 albums. I liked all of them except the last one. I thought the last one was bad, real bad. Then he went on to do his solo album, which was a rap album. It still had elements of singing on it. And that was Charity Starts at Home. That's a pretty good album. If you haven't heard of it or don't know anything about it, go search it out, listen to it. Give it a shot. It's pretty good. Then a few years ago, he did an album with this R&B cat named Eric Roberson. He's like underground R&B, if that make any sense. He's been doing this thing for a long time, but I don't think too many people know about. I don't think he gets too much radio play. Well, anyway, those two came together and did an album. It was more R&B. You had Phonte rapping here and there, but it was mostly an R&B album. And the album was pretty good. It was much better than I expected. I was kind of skeptical at first, but it's a good joint. It got some party cookout type joints. It has that summer vibe to it. Really good album. And Phonte's style, I would say his rap style, he talks a lot about family and grown man everyday life. You know, he has his punchlines, he has clever punchlines. He's very funny, very witty. And he's from North Carolina. And so he has that country kind of vibe to him too. And I think he's been one of the best MCs of the last 15 years. If you told me to do a list of the best MCs that's been out like the last 15 years, he would definitely be up there. So I have a lot of respect for Phonte. I know he's always going to have, he can have a verse, and I know it's going to be a few lines in there that make me smile, make me laugh. And I mean that in a good way. So we're going to get into this review of his album. I'm going to get into this review of his album. And I didn't like everything, but it was nothing on there that was whack. The joints I didn't like was leaning heavy on the commercial side, in my opinion, but they're not out of place. He's one of the few artists that can get that underground respect, but also can make radio friendly songs that the masses can get with. He can make fun joints. So there's a few joints on there I didn't like, but I'm gonna get into some of the songs I do like. You got To The Rescue. Very short, but a good way to start off the album. Braggadocious raps. I like the singing in the background while he's rapping. Tigolo to the rescue. I like that. I dig that. So Help Me God is another song. Bars, battle raps, showing off his skills. You got Expensive Jeans. That's jeans spelled with Genes. It's like he's in therapy, like he's in a therapy session, or more like he's at a doctor's visit. Very short but strong song. He got Cry No More, some deep shit about life as a man. He's talking about family issues such as life. The title is self-explanatory. Female singing on the hook. It's some grown man shit. Really dig the production. The production is nice. Change of Mind featuring Freddie Gibbs, which I thought was an odd pairing. I didn't expect to see Freddie Gibbs featured on a Phonte album, on a Phonte song. Phonte's doing a lot of singing on there, and then you got Freddie Gibbs come in and rap, and it works. The collaboration between them two works. You know, let's talk about relationships and not being on the same page with your female counterpart. Sweet You, really dig this song. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. Head Nod Music, love the singing on here. I would give this album a B. This is some grown man, adult contemporary hip hop, kind of like in the vein of Jay-Z's 444. I don't like the notion where we're at this point where we feel that people that's in their late 30s or in their 40s shouldn't be making rap albums. If we don't have the older folks making grown man shit, how can this music really evolve? How can rap itself evolve? It'll still be spinning in the same place if we just relegate it to the youngins. And I like some of the youngins, but you need the people that's been around to ground hip hop and take it and make it more respectable. Just not making it party music or for the youngins. To me, it'll never be on a level as a rock and roll or jazz if we just say all that shit is just for the youngest. Let the youngest do that. No, you need the vets still making good music. And I like that the vets are still making good music and putting out music and not retiring and not saying, oh, I'm too old to do that shit anymore. So there you have it.